Hello, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. You guys, I want to check in with you, let you know what's been kind of going on today in my head. As I've said before, YouTube for me is kind of a diary. And so anytime I have thoughts that I don't really want to talk to somebody in person about or in real life, I get on YouTube. And I think that even though YouTube can be very public, I think for me it feels very private. And it's also kind of a safe space for me to come on here and vent and talk about what's going on in my life. And I don't really get too vulnerable on this channel very often. And I know that sounds silly because we've talked about everything on here. We've talked about dating, dysphoria, hormones, surgery, dating, like just anything and everything we've kind of talked about on my channel here. I have lately been having a bit of a 30s crisis, and I know I've mentioned this before. And I don't know if all women go through this, if trans women go through this, if women in their 30s go through this, if people in their 30s go through this, but I have been feeling an incredible sense of just feeling lost. I feel lately like I don't know what I'm doing with my life. As I mentioned in my last video, I was a massage therapist for the past 10 years. Or longer than that, really. But I recently decided to take a break from that. I was feeling very burnt out, and I wanted to get more into kind of the food and beverage industry, bartending, serving. For me at least, I do really well in jobs that are pretty much based on gratuities. And so for me, bartending and serving just seemed like the right choice. And it's been going pretty good so far. I've been doing that for the past about 3 months now, and I do enjoy it quite a bit. And for me, it's come with new challenges. I've never worked in such a setting where there's just so many people, so many different personalities, so many different styles of work ethic, anything, it's just everything's so different. But with that being said, I've noticed myself feeling very disconnected. And what I mean by that is, when you work in a restaurant or you work in a bar, it's a very social setting. People talk all day long. You have to be very friendly. You have to make conversation. And I just think as a woman in her early 30s, and especially a trans woman, I'm finding it harder and harder to connect to people. I think for myself, it's a little bit hard because one, am not married. Two, I don't have children. And also I'm trans, which in itself is a layer that you don't really connect with most people about, And so I've just been having a very hard time with connecting with people and connecting in a very honest way. I'm not someone who opens up about my transness very much in real life. If people suspect it, that's fine. They're allowed to do that. That's none of my business. However, I don't really talk to people about the part of me that is being a trans woman and the struggles that come with it. But by doing so, I think it's a disservice to myself, and it kind of creates an issue for me to be able to socially connect with somebody else, because for me, at least, being trans is such a huge part of my identity as a person, as a human being. It's affected so many different facets of my life, from dating to my childhood, to the way I've been socialized, the way I've been perceived. Medically, it's been different. I mean, it comes with its own set of problems. And socially, especially, society perceives us in such a different way. So, I find myself, for example, at work, and, I could be surrounded by coworkers and they're talking and having a good time and laughing about stuff. And talking about their children and things like that. And for me, it's like, I don't really feel like I have anything in common with most people, now, because everyone's in that age group now, or at least the people that I'm around that are having kids, that are married, that are, it just, I think it's from an outside perspective looking in, it just feels like everybody has their shit together. Everyone's got their life figured out. I think everybody in society follows a timeline. It's like you meet someone, you get married, you have children, and you buy a home, and it's like boom, boom, boom. This is what you should do. And for me, it doesn't feel that way. For me, it doesn't feel like, one, that's in the cards for me. And two, I don't really know if I even want that, I've always said I would rather have children than have a husband. I romanticize motherhood more than I do marriage, So for me, it's created kind of an issue to be able to fully commit to someone. Also on the heels of what I'm talking about, I'm still experiencing the heartbreak of a breakup, Although I feel like I've emotionally detached from that individual, I don't miss them. I don't think about them, to be quite honest. I don't really care for them. I also don't feel single yet, I haven't been able to emotionally disconnect from that. I haven't been able to really move on and be like, okay, I'm ready to move on, And I have been talking to somebody new who seems extremely wonderful, and it's been really fun getting to know each other, and I'm excited about what the future holds there. But at the same time, it's like, what my plans were with this partner, they're gone, And I listened to this song called The Art of Starting Over by Demi Lovato. And I'm not a Demi Lovato fan at all, but I love that song quite a bit. It's so good. Like, literally, it's like everything I'm feeling put in a song, But yeah, I've been finding myself, just feeling completely left out in the world. And it's also created a little bit of dysphoria, It doesn't linger very long, but I do find myself, like, even in group settings, I feel like kind of the person left in the corner almost. And if I really think about it, I feel very loved at my job. I feel loved in general from my family and from other people, but I feel like just something is missing. I feel like I just feel lost. That's the best way to put it, And so today I went to this employee lunch, for example, at my job. It was for everybody that works in food and beverage. I do work for a big hotel chain, and I went to this employee lunch, and I sat next to my supervisor and one of my coworkers who is a really nice, gay guy, younger than I am. He sat next to me. We were playing bingo. Everybody was having a good time, but like, I don't know. I almost got this like feeling or sense that, I was like the weird one there, and like nobody really wanted to interact with me. And I know that's not really true, obviously, because, if I think about it, I'm like, everyone was friendly. Everybody came up and said something to me at some point. When I walked in, everybody was like, oh my God, wow. But I can't help but feeling like othered or like set aside or like I'm weird. And I don't know, I've just been having so many I've just been overthinking everything. I've been having kind of rapid thoughts and like being very negative. I've been kind of sitting in a very negative space this past week, and I don't know why. And I'm definitely gonna snap out of it. I always do when I get in these moods. But I think it's also because I've experienced so much change in such a short amount of time. Last year I bought a house. I had a roommate move in for the very first time. I've never really had roommates. I ended my almost 5-year relationship. I started a new job. I regained some friendships. I lost some friendships. It's been so much change. And with COVID on top of everything and everybody getting fucking sick, it's just been awful. It's been such a like roller coaster of emotions. And, I think ultimately what it boils down to and all of these feelings I've been having is that I'm very scared to get old. I'm very scared to get older. Um, when I was in my 20s, I didn't really need to vent to anybody. I didn't really need that much emotional support. But I'm noticing the older that I get, I seem to need more support emotionally, spiritually, whatever you want to call it. But it's also scary because when you get in your 30s, it feels like everyone's out on their own. It's like the older you get, the less of your problems that you're allowed to share with other people. And I know that's, again, not really true, but it definitely feels that way. I did have plans this year to foster. I was working with a foster agent to be able to hopefully foster to adopt. And I have the paperwork. I haven't filled it out yet. I don't even know if I'm ready for that yet. I really have the desire for it, obviously. But I've just been having kind of these feelings of like self-doubt. Like I don't believe in myself right now that much. And I really don't know what it is, you guys. Maybe Mercury is in retrograde. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I don't want to blame it on my hormones, but like I was off hormones for a very long time and I just recently got back on them consistently. So I'm wondering if that's what it could be. But anyways, you guys, I just wanted to get on here and share these feelings and hopefully, we can connect woman to woman on this topic. I think when you're a younger trans woman, you focus a lot on the physical aspect of things. You focus on the kind of more superficial aspect of things, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean you worry more about your appearance, you worry more about having fun, you worry about things on the surface, things that aren't so what's the word? Of substance. You don't worry about so many things of substance, it's kind of like, but I think the older you get, those things really kind of are like very important, And so yeah, I've been feeling a little lost, you guys, but I'm going to hopefully find my way and I will keep you guys updated on what is going on. But anyways, that was Confessions of a Trans Woman with D Nice. Bye, you guys.